and welcome back to the Prism Podcast. My name is Sydney Lish, but you can call me Sid. After 5 years of mentoring thousands of people as a wellness entrepreneur, I figured it was time to create a one-stop shop for you to find all things business advice, health and wellness, success principles, creating legacy income, tangible tips, motivation, and more. The Prism Podcast captures a full spectrum of all the information you need to actualize your excellence. So let's go. Hello. Welcome back to the Prism Podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello as well. I'm trying to do both, and we're just gonna see how this goes. It's weird to have my voice being recorded and then also to be on camera, but we're just gonna roll with it. So welcome back. And today we're gonna be talking about batch creation. So this is a topic that I think when I got started in network marketing, it wasn't really being talked about. And I believe the first time I really heard it being talked about was on the Skinny Confidential podcast with Lauren Bostic and Michael Everett. And I loved incorporating the concept of batch creation into what I was doing because I was finding as I was creating content, I was like, let me turn on my light here. As I was creating content, I was getting distracted, right? I was not getting as much done as I could. It was actually pulling me away from the important tasks in my business. And I would find myself like switching my focus so often throughout the day. So I'd be, 1 minute I would be recording a video and that for my team groups. And then the next minute I'd be writing a post for Instagram, and then I'd be scrolling through Instagram stories. And then I would jump over and I'd do, a couple reach outs on Instagram, and then I'd go back to posting on social media. And then I would feel like, oh God, my energy is being spread out through so many different things. And I felt like I never had any time. And I always felt busy. I always felt like so overwhelmed. I have so much to do. I have so much going on. And so when I heard of this concept, I was like, okay, I'm going to hardcore incorporate this and just see what happens. And what I'll say is by batch creating, and I'm going to give you guys a bunch of like really granular examples so you can incorporate this into your business as well, or just into your life. It opened up so much free time for me, where now I'm like, if people are busy, I just am like, how busy really are you? Like, yes, obviously people are busy and there's a lot to do, but I feel like if we're being smart with our calendar and we're being smart with our content creation and our batch creation in our lives, really we should have, especially if you don't have kids or, you don't have a family, like me, for example, it opens up so much space for more free time, and it alleviates a lot of that like feeling super busy. So essentially, batch creation is just that. It's creating content in bunches or in batches. So instead of again like jumping on Facebook, creating an Instagram post, jumping on Instagram, posting a bunch of stories, doing 5 reach outs, doing a couple follow-ups, doing some calls, and then going and doing a photo shoot in the afternoon, you're going to batch like groups of activities together. And I'm actually going to do a podcast probably next week about theming my days and theming my weeks and theming my months, because that's kind of partnered in on this, but I really wanted to get granular on batch creation. So with batch creation, what that looks like for me, great example right now, today, I actually have the entire weekend, or I guess it's the weekdays, it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where I took off of, my phone. My phone is like in a different room turned off. And I am actually taking all of today and just recording podcasts and YouTube videos, like all day. That is my number one focus. I am literally just doing that from right now, it's 10 a.m., probably until 7 p.m. But with that, on my list, I have about 21 podcast episodes to record. And so what that looks like is about half of the year of podcasts are done, which is like a no-brainer for me. Because when I used to do a podcast back in 2021 for a different business that I was running at the time, I would do about 4 episodes, and then I would, I would edit them, I would batch them, I would put them all out, I would schedule them, and then I didn't have to touch it until the next month. I didn't even have to think about it. I could think about different ideas I had throughout the month, but I didn't have to actually sit down and record, because what I found is just sitting down and recording to actually get into that state is the thing that takes the most energy. Once you're in it, once you're in flow, once you're doing it, if you love it, it doesn't take that much energy, because I don't even have notes. I have like the note of what I'm talking about, and that's it. So for me, actually recording the podcast doesn't take as much energy as like sitting down, getting ready. Obviously I might be on camera. So batch creation is that. That's where you're sitting down, you're focused on one activity, and then it's done for the entire week or for the entire month, or for me, it's an entire quarter or entire year. And so for me, I already have 6 months of podcasts booked out, and now I'm doing the next 6 months, so that then I don't have to even, again, think about it. I can just come up with brainstorm ideas for the next 6 months where I take a full day and do it, instead of every couple days or every week on Sunday sitting down to record a podcast episode. Now, if something comes up and I'm feeling inspired, I'm going to sit down in the middle of the week and record the podcast episode. All good, right? But it's when that inspiration sparks that I can do that, and I don't feel the pressure of every single Sunday having to sit down to record an episode and be like, what do I want to talk about? Oh my gosh, I'm stressed. If I don't come up with something, I don't have any content for anybody for the week, right? So batch creation really supports with eliminating procrastination, but also it takes so much pressure off. Because it's like, okay, now the rest of the year, I'm good to go. Content is going to be put out. And if I have extra stuff I want to talk about, I can go in and talk about it from an inspired place instead of a place of desperation and then just not doing it. It's not sustainable to do that, from what I've found. Another area you can batch create is like YouTube videos. If you're on YouTube, just sitting down, and instead of recording one video every week, you record 4 videos. So every single week you have content for your audience. And maybe for you, you don't want to like wear the same thing, or change your hair up, change your shirt. I don't care. If I watch somebody's YouTube video, chances are it's not chronological order. I'm not even paying attention to that. So if you want to, go change it up. Like, go change your outfit, whatever you got to do. Batch create your YouTube content. Instagram. I do this in a little bit of a different way. It's a little more micro. So I do my Instagram content, like my written content, on Sundays. So Sunday, when I sit down to prep my week, which again, I'm going to talk about my theme days next week, which I'm actually recording right after this. So what I do with my Instagram content is I sit down and I think of, I kind of go through my categories of what I like to talk about on Instagram. And I write down Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I write down the topic of what I want to talk about each day. And then I basically go through and I write maybe 4 or 5 of those captions, just so that they're done. I don't have to think about them. I partner them with a post. I get the picture edited. I get all of that done for about 3, 4, or 5 days of the week. Okay. And then throughout the week, there's always things that come up for me. There's always things I want to be talking about, because I'm in conversations with people. I'm, on calls with people. I get a hit of inspiration. I'm reading something. I get a hit of inspiration. And so I'll keep 2 or 3 days intentionally flexible to post something that inspires me, or post something that, gets downloaded to me. And that way I give myself some wiggle room. So I'm not like, well, I'm super rigid. I have to post about my shake on Wednesday, or else like the world's going to end, right? It gives me a little bit of wiggle room and a little flexibility. And sometimes I don't even end up using the post, because I get so many downloads throughout the week. I'll just use, I have so many posts saved from weeks past or months past that I'm just waiting to use. So then you just get this collection, this library of posts when you're on a day where you don't feel like inspired at all. Maybe you're exhausted, whatever, you're taking a day off, you have something ready to go. So Instagram, Sunday, I sit down, I do that. On my Facebook, I usually repost what I post on Instagram. I wake up in the morning, maybe I post something quickly on Facebook. But if you're in network marketing, or you have a Facebook community of some sort, I like to do the same thing for Facebook for my communities, my private groups, my team, my organization. So I'll find things throughout the week on Instagram or on Pinterest or on YouTube videos that inspire me. and you can actually schedule on Facebook different posts. So you can go in, you can schedule, and it's just a great way to be able to, again, diversify the content you're providing for them, have it planned out. And then throughout the day, you have to think of it like this. You're not switching your energy from the important tasks like your daily method of operation, your KPIs and all of that, into what do I have to post on Facebook for the group? What do I need to do to inspire the group, right? It allows you to just focus on the most important task because it's already scheduled, the post is already done, you did it when you were in a creative zone, and then you get to move on with your day and not even think about it. Like when I have those posts getting automatically uploaded, the amount of mental energy it saves me, I'm just like, oh, I can feel like a weight lifted off on the weeks I do it versus the weeks that I don't do it. And it is a huge, huge difference. So those are a few different areas that you can batch create your content. And then another thing I like to do is, like, instead of doing photos every single day, I like to plan like a quarterly photo shoot. So again, with content, you need so, many different outfits, different looks. It's like so much effort. And every day I don't get ready. Like even barely anymore, I barely get ready because I'm just really trying to like embrace a minimal look. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you understand what I'm talking about. Like my nails aren't done, my toenails aren't done, I don't have makeup on, like the whole thing. So I'm, barely getting ready. I want to have some content of myself so that again, I wake up on Monday and I'm not like, oh God, I got to get ready and do all my calls and do all this and do all that and post an Instagram photo of me looking cute. So instead of doing a weekly photo shoot, I like to do a quarterly photo shoot. And what that allows me to do, it allows me to collect the outfits. It allows me to have like a really clear vision of what I want to do. I only have to do it one time a quarter versus like one time even a month or one time a week. It saves a ton of money and resources because you just get all the outfits together one day, one photographer, one location. And you just go and do it and you block it out. Usually I'm like, oh, it's going to take all day. Usually a photo shoot to get a solid good 30 to 50 photos for me takes 3-4 hours. And I'm like laser focused. I'll even do it with a friend. They'll do photos for me. We'll swap back and forth. And you get so much content out of that time. That's my favorite way to do that. So doing a quarterly photo shoot instead of like daily photos, having to worry about that every single day. You wake up, you look like you're ready for the ball. Even if you're not, you can post the Instagram content, not have to think about it. And then again, throughout the week, if you have an opportunity where you're doing some lifestyle stuff, where you're out, at a restaurant with friends, or, you're with your team, you're doing something out in nature, you can post those things too, but you already have that content that's ready to go. Okay, and then the last thing I'll talk about in this kind of the batch creation, I also like to think about little things like batch creating meals and like scheduling things throughout my week in batches. So again, I'm going to talk about prepping weeks here next, but I like to even do little activities where it's like, okay, I'm going to prep all my food for the week, right? It's like getting all these things organized so you're not taking time throughout your week to have to even think about doing it. So I love to not only prep my social media so that I can focus on the most important things in my business, I like to batch my food and meal prep as well. And that's just something so simple and kind of off topic, but it's also really on brand, is getting your food ready for the week. So I like to order all my groceries on Sundays. I like to prep my week on Sundays. And then by Monday, I have all my food prepped. I cook all my meat, my veggies, my potatoes, whatever. I have all my, avocados and fruit and snacks ready, bagged up, washed, put in containers, so that when I'm ready to eat, my 2 shakes throughout the day and the 1 to 2 meals, it's just ready to go. So for me, that's a huge, huge hack that saved me so much time and effort and energy. So batch creation, guys, that's where it's at. I'm telling you, if you can learn to batch create your life in as many ways as possible, it'll save you so much time, energy, and money. It's about structure and it's about systemization. It's about systematizing your life and putting structures in place so that you save time and energy. And a way that I like to do it is to, like I'm doing right now, I call it a think week. Bill Gates talks about it a lot. A lot of people have replicated it. Google it, YouTube it, watch some videos on it. But a think week is essentially where you take, if you have the luxury to do it, again, if you have kids, I get it. If you have a family, I get it. If you have a full-time job, I get it. But take a weekend every quarter. Take a weekend, take 2 days, take 1 day, take time off to get yourself ahead, to create content for the quarter, to do a day of podcasting, to do, a photo shoot, to get your life organized for the next quarter, to get clear on what you want your brand to look like, to get clarity. I have my big whiteboard here that I've been working on. It looks insane right now because I've just been like, okay, my birthday is in a couple days. I mean, again, if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to it like 3, 4, 5 months later. But my birthday's in a couple days. I'm turning 27. What do I want my life to look like? What structures am I putting in place? What are my daily method of operation? What are my daily, structures? All of that. So take some time, remove yourself from technology, get clear on what you want your life to look like, and then batch create around that so that you have the free time that you're looking for, so that you can create at a more optimal level, so that you can impact more people. So hope this was valuable for everyone. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Prism podcast episode this week. It means so much that you got to the end of this episode. I want to acknowledge you for tuning in to grow yourself every single week. So if you loved this episode, leave a rating and a review. Please subscribe so that I know that you're loving this content, and I will see you next week. Welcome back to the Hello and welcome